about learning how to do body whispering. Very luckily, I have a class coming up at the end of March. But before that, on the 17th of February from 5:30 to 7 p.m., I'm doing what is called an introduction to body whispering. It is free of charge. Anyone who would like to learn how to play with energy, anyone who would like to learn to harness and leverage energy for the greater good, for own good, of course, but also for the greater good, I'm very happy to have you come and learn more about body whispering.
Everything is energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your bodies. Body whispering is a new way of seeing, being, and healing. Hello and welcome to Rabbi Rashi Foundation. Shalu Bhuchar, Chief Consultant at Kaweebhu, is an OD practitioner and a body whisperer, certified facilitator, and a business whisperer also. आपका बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है.
Thank you.
To start with Shalu ji, please tell us about brand Shalu Bhuchar and what inspired you to begin with Kaweebo and Violet Flame.
Okay, so Rashi, that's a good question. First of all, thank you for having me here. So tell you a little about brand Shalu Bhuchar. I don't know brand Shalu Bhuchar hai ki nahi hai. Shalu Bhuchar definitely hai. My brand Kaveebhu actually means omnipresent poet. Kaveebhu, Vibhu Bhagwan का नाम है. Kavi is about a poet. The ethos of that is I am present where I choose to be. I desire to be and I desire to make a difference. I'm not comparing myself to God. I just wanted to have some name of God in my name. Also, Kaveebhu is a very good amalgamation of the first few letters of my father's name, that's Kamlesh, my mother's name, that's Veena, and then Bhuchar, which is our last name. So Kaveebhu also stands for that. It was just भगवान की दया से ऐसा नाम बन गया. As a brand, Kaweebo actually caters to 2-3 different things. The first thing, of course, is what I have the maximum amount of experience in, and that is organization development and coaching. So that's one of the things that I do. Within organization development, I usually work with organizations on their leadership transformation, change management, and essential organization development activities like employee engagement, etc. I also have been a coach now for 20 years. For the past 8 years, I've been going to be 9 years now. I've been a trained life coach. I have been a certified emotional intelligence coach for the past many, many years. So that's where my coaching element comes in. And within coaching, what I do as a coach is I work with leaders of organizations, whether at the top level or director -1, CEO -1 level. I also spend my time in doing coaching for teens who are transitioning, for sexual abuse victims. These are two pro bono areas that I work on because I think that is required. And I have just recently, I think about within the past 2 years, I have also started doing something which not too many coaches, in fact, if at all, are doing across the world. And that is coaching new mothers. When it comes to Kaweebo, one part of it is OD consulting or organization development consulting, where the focus is on enabling you, my client. The other aspect of Kaweebo is something called Violet Flame. Violet Flame is a range of products which I make myself, which are all natural, zero chemical. The idea is to nourish your body without the additives of chemicals, of new age stuff, etc. So literally घर का सामान, हल्दी, coconut oil, चंदन, things like that, depending on किस चीज़ की ailment को हम ठीक करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. I make something called a magical all-purpose relief balm, जो आपके कोल्ड से लेके गला दर्द से लेके चेस्ट कंजेशन, माइग्रेन, मेंस्ट्रुअल पेन, मसल पेन, वर्कआउट के बाद का पेन, आप किसी भी चीज़ के लिए उसको यूज़ कीजिए, वो बहुत अच्छी है. मुझे सोच के ही उसके बारे में खुशी होती है क्योंकि वो इतना अच्छा एक प्रोडक्ट बना है. अब क्यों मुझे उसको देख के और खुशी होती है, क्योंकि जितना आप यूज़ करते हैं, आप दूसरे लोगों को उसके बारे में बताते हैं, वो यूज़ करते हैं, उसके सारे प्रोसीड्स जो होते हैं, जितना प्रॉफिट बनता है, मैं समर्पण फाउंडेशन की बहुत अंडर प्रिविलेज्ड वुमेन हैं, उनसे मैं पोटलियाँ बनवाती हूँ, तो उनको फिर वो पैसे जाते हैं. One of the biggest parts now that I'm doing, which I have been doing for the past 2 years, and I've just become a certified facilitator, and that is the whole piece on body and business whispering. I'm a certified facilitator for body whispering, not yet business whispering, but I do business whispering. As you rightly said, body whispering is about it's this holistic modality or a technique in which an individual starts to communicate with their bodies. Of course, in the beginning, it is a guided communication, wherein the facilitator, I will facilitate the individual on my table or even over a distance. I will facilitate them to start becoming aware of their body. हम अपनी जिंदगियां लिटरली अपने शरीर को हम समझ के बिताते हैं. वी थिंक वी आर आवर बॉडी, but our body is actually the vehicle, the medium, the tool that we have to travel this planet, to experience what is life. लोग हमेशा बोलते हैं लाइफ क्या होती है, ये क्या होता है, वो क्या होता है. एंड लाइफ इज वेरी सिंपल, राइट? आप जिस दिन पहले आपने सांस ली और जिस दिन आखिरी सांस ली, उसके बीच में जो हो रहा होता है वो लाइफ होती है. एंड आपका साथी जो होता है इस पूरी जर्नी में, वो आपका शरीर होता है. सो बॉडी विस्परिंग एक्चुअली हेल्प्स यू गेट इन टच with that body and then start to shift the energy in your body. As you rightly started out with saying, everything is energy. You are energy, I am energy, this computer is energy, this wall is energy, this frame is energy. Everything is energy in different forms. And it's a basic rule of physics that we learned when we were tiny kids in school. Energy solidified is matter. So how do you start becoming aware of your of energy around you using your body, using the skin, using your hair? How do you start becoming aware of it using your five senses till the time that you can actually go beyond your five senses and actually start experiencing energy as energy is? So body whispering is about that, and that, in a nutshell, actually a very big nutshell, is what Kaweebo and what Shalu Bhuchar stand for. I do want to say one of the other things that I do is healing, for which I don't charge. It is using universal energy, and of course, taught by my teacher, Patrick San Francisco. If anyone wants to learn healing, if they want to start going into healing, I say he's the place to start. He is the place to start, and he's the place where you will just keep growing in energy. There is so much that he continually gifts us. And, so anything that we do, anything that we tangibly or intangibly do is all driven by energy.
And this is totally interesting how she's put it and how she's explaining. Okay, Shaluji, what are the different services offered at Kaweebo?
So apart from everything that I just shared, there is one other thing, and that is I offer book editing and ghostwriting also as a part of what Kaweebo does. In a very, very brief way, Kaweebo has organization development consulting, which is all about leadership development and transformation. It's about individual performance. How do you create performance results from a leadership level and cascade it downwards? How do you communicate it? How do you keep your employees engaged? How do you manage your performance? How do you ensure you're doing performance reviews timely? And there's so much related to organization development. And one of the key things that I do within that is also change management, especially these days when change is so, it's like literally every minute. You don't know when you're going to wake up tomorrow morning, now what new is going to be breaking loose. So one part is organization development and coaching. The other part is Violet Flame, which is all about what I just spoke about. The third is around the book services that I do, editing, publishing, not publishing, pardon me, editing and ghostwriting. I work with a specific publisher based out of Bombay. And the last thing is and it's a beautiful thing, not necessarily last, is body whispering. So those are the four things that Kaweebo offers.
And that's a vast garden, I must say, full of different kind of services. Okay, Shaluji, what about the coaching you do? And who are the seekers of that coaching?
When I started out, of course, I was coaching everyone, but coaching can actually be availed by anybody. It can be a youngster who's transitioning into teenage and not understanding, so a preteen, not understanding what's happening with their body. It could be a teenager who's transitioning into adulthood and, dealing with all the vagaries of life, everything, all the insecurities about how they look, what should they be doing with their life, how to handle peer pressure, things like that. It could be new transitioning professionals. So I've just started a job. What do I do? How do I handle it? Coaching is also for mid-level managers. It's for housewives. It's for grandparents. It's for parents. Like I said, I'm just beginning to, for the past 2 years, I've been focusing on new mothers. And coaching is also for leaders, senior leaders. Coaching is also for other coaches. So that's the whole gamut of coaching, so to speak. Where I focus on, Rashi, is, and everyone listening, is on senior leaders within organizations, large organizations and mid-sized organizations, and their direct reports. So let's talk about the senior mid-level within organizations. Can I do all the others? Of course I can, and of course I do if I realize that there is somebody who can actually benefit from coaching with me. I will work with them. Yet I prefer to focus on people at senior levels now, primarily because of the breadth of experience and expertise I have garnered, but also because I believe that when people at the top are able to handle themselves well and set the right example for people, who are reporting into them, it becomes so much easier for the people reporting into them. That's also one of the reasons why I started doing coaching for new mothers, because my firm belief is that if a mother, actually both parents, but since the father is usually in our unfortunately in our society, the father is thought of as the breadwinner and leaves the child to the mother. What the mother does, how the mother behaves, what the energy the mother is emanating, how the mother talks, how she walks, all of that is absorbed by the child like a sponge. So also her psychological state. It's a myth that a child will not understand what you're going through. Children are the biggest absorbers and players of energy. They pick up energy very, very quickly. And so the psychological state that you're in, the mental and emotional state that you're in, will somehow or the other show up in your body. And when it shows up, your child will be the first person to pick it up. So that's the reason why I started with new mothers. So primarily senior leaders, their direct reports, young mothers or new mothers that I work with. And in special cases, I continue my work with people who are sexual abuse victims. It could be men, it could be women. It doesn't just have to be women. They can avail of coaching with me. Of course, there is a whole process and a structure to it. So if there is anyone who reaches out, I'm happy to talk to you through that.
Okay, so this is beautiful. Okay, tell us more about body whispering and how can we learn more about
So,
it?
body whispering, this is this wonderful new methodology. Actually, it's not new per se. The lady who started this in the form that I know it, her name is Dr. Adila Hafiz, and she runs an institute called the Life Whispering Institute, based out of New Zealand. At this point of time, there are 12 of us who are certified facilitators and are able to teach other people how to do body whispering. But before I go into that, what is body whispering? As I started out with sharing a little bit about it, it is about being in communication with your body. It is about using and leveraging your body to be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve. Now, the first time I heard this, Rashi, I was like, what do you mean by use my body to achieve whatever I want to achieve? What are you saying, Shiva Shiva? But really, as I said, it is about realizing and remembering at every point of time that this body that we have is a body that we have. It is not us. It's a tool that we've been given. Even in our Indian scriptures, most scriptures that you know of, they will speak about the fact that there is something called a soul inside the body. Now, call it soul, call it Atman, call it mind, I don't know, call it whatever you will. But you will, if even if you just sit down right now and you close your eyes and you just start focusing anywhere in your body, actually, mostly people will say focus on the center of your brow, but focus anywhere, and you will realize that you can feel your hands on your chair or wherever you're sitting, and yet there is something else that's happening inside you. There is somebody inside you who's looking at you doing this, and that is you, that is the soul, that is the being, call it what you will. So body whispering actually helps the being be able to leverage the body by working with the energy around. How do you start becoming used to the energies? Now, there are, physics tells us there are various frequencies of energy, right? Similarly, there is a frequency which has been named the body whispering energy by the founder of body whispering here, Adila. And these energies are very gentle and very powerful at the same time. And having said all of that, Rashi, I also wanted to say any description of body whispering will never do justice uh, to the magic that body whispering actually is. So, when I was trying to identify how do I call it, what do I go about it, the only thing that kept coming back to me was either magic or possibilities. So that's why I also call it the whispers of possibilities, because when you do body whispering, you are actually opening yourself up to so many more possibilities that you never thought were possible before. Actually, you know what, that's the essence of body whispering. Thank you for asking me the question and helping me articulate it even better right now. Um, when you do body whispering, or when you receive a body whispering session, the possibilities that open up for you are so immense. You may think you are receiving energy for fixing a physical ailment, but you are actually receiving so much more, because these are universal energies. You can't mess with them because they are more powerful than anything on the planet, anything in the in the cosmos combined.
How could you add value to those homemakers who would like to get back to their own self? Or somewhere, making a family, being, you lose yourself somewhere.
So I think there are two or three things that can actually happen. One is definitely coaching. The reason why I say that is, when we are stuck in a rut, a lot of times we bypass our own potential. We don't look at it. We become blind to it, or we are actually, because of the sounds, the voices that we hear around us, we are blinded to it. We're not allowed to shine a light on our own brilliance. And what coaching and body whispering do. And when we do body whispering, one of the things we do is verbal facilitation. So it's not just me playing around with the energy of the individual and with the individual. It's also about me doing verbal facilitation. So I will talk to them through it. I will ask them questions and make them think about it. So somewhere coaching and body whispering, verbal facilitation come in very well together. So that's why I don't call body whispering a healing modality. I call it a facilitation or a coaching modality. Mm, the way that homemakers who are looking to get back into their groove, into their potency, the way they can benefit for or liaise with me is, number one, through coaching, number two, through body whispering sessions, through the coaching that I do. And I also offer these short sessions on something called energy pulls, and something, it could be about communication, it could be about looking within and finding your potency or your potential, as we call it, and short workshops like that, 4 hour workshops, sometimes 8 hour workshops spread over 2 or 3 days, that they can attend with me, to be able to start rebuilding their confidence, just to be able to start getting back into what they have the possibilities of sitting at home. I'm not talking about getting them back into the workplace. No. I'm saying start shining a light on yourself so that you can see what you can do in the environment that you are in, with the resources that you have or you don't have.
All different kind of new concepts and energy healing concepts, basically. I think Shalu has the best of the solutions. Okay, Shalu ji, you, this is all new to the market. To just introduce something. I'm sure you must have faced a lot of challenges.
So, one of the biggest challenges that I've faced, Rashi, has been of getting people to get that there is energy, and that energy does a whole lot of good work. I've actually, like I was talking to you about my energy healing also. So I've been doing energy healing for the past 12 years. And even today, I will have people come up to me and ask me, but ये energy होता क्या है, जरा समझा तो दीजिए. So आप करेंगे कैसे, आप झाड़ा फूका करेंगे क्या? No, I don't do anything like झाड़ा फूका. I just work with the energy. And the way we've been taught, every single frequency of energy has a very specific job to do. And I'm just going to take one quick second to, actually a little longer than that, but to share an experience with you. Right early in the years when I just started with healing, I think it must have been 2 or 3 years within healing, and the kind that my teacher has taught me. And I think that's the core of my healing, of all my practices, everything he's taught. My mother and I were walking down a market, and they had very recently just repaved their paths with cobblestones. And so my mother and I were walking, and I was talking away, jabber, 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 jabber. And I suddenly realized I haven't got a response from my mother. So I turned to my right to see where she is, and she wasn't there. So I was like a little taken aback, and I went seven, 8 steps back, and I realized my mother was on the ground. She had fallen down and she couldn't get up because she's aged, right? She couldn't get up herself. And at that time also, she would have been in her early 70s. And she's a little heavy, so she couldn't turn herself. But when I reached there, I saw her nose had a deep gash and there was blood spurting out of it. So the first thing I did was I used the commands of energy healing that I had been taught. And one command was to stop the blood vessels from leaking. So I gave the command. The other command was to seal up. So to clean the place, to seal it up. I sent those commands. And after that, I freaked out. After I did the healing, I freaked out. Somebody help me. I need to have my mother get up. Blah, blah. I was very, very scared. Either way, I got her to the doctor. The doctor said, okay, you know what? Right now, I can't do anything because the gash is so deep. I'm just going to cover it up. Bring her to me in the next 2 days for us to just, 2 days later to clean it up. And then we'll see if we need to do a stitch or anything. Okay. So I took her 2 days later to the same doctor and he took out the gauze and he rubbed her forehead like that and he says, are you sure आपको चोट लगी थी? There was nothing. Forget a deep gash, forget an open wound, there was nothing. It had all sealed up. And that for me was my first tangible brush with the magic of healing. I have goosebumps right now with the magic of healing. And over the past 12 years, I have seen so much being done with energy. And now, because people will tell other people word of mouth, I have I think about 650, 700 patients per day of healing, morning and evening. And I'm just so grateful. It's the energy doing all the work, and I'm able to use that energy to create a difference in people. But why I shared that story with you was that was the time when my parents also started believing in it. Before that, even they were skeptical. हाँ बेटे ठीक है ये हाँ हम तुम believe करते हो तो हम believe कर रहे हैं. So, getting people to believe in energy, in energetic shifts. And that also goes into coaching. People think coaching is fluff. People think coaching is अच्छी अच्छी बातें करते हैं बाद में कुछ नहीं होता. But no, that's not true. I have seen people through coaching shift their relationships. I have seen women get the power in them to tell their partners to stop being abusive. I have seen coaching help business leaders get results. I have seen coaching help entrepreneurs take their own businesses to the next level. So the biggest challenge that comes is disbelief because of the human mind.
This is absolutely wonderful how she's telling us. And personally also believe what she's saying because I believe in energies also. Okay, Shalu ji, what is your special message to all the brands and to the marketplace out there? Also include your social initiatives.
So special message, I don't know. I just feel it's something again that I've learned from my teacher. Whatever you do, please do it with keeping the greater good for the greater number in mind. And this is, if you're an organization out there that's listening to this, then remember your people, planet, purpose, and profits all go hand in hand together. The four P's. There used to be three, but there's a fourth, which is the purpose. So keep that in mind, keeping the greater good of the greater number always at the core. Apart from that, I think if each one of us starts to focus outward, if each one of us takes care of the people around us, I think we'd just be in so much a better place and people like me could take a vacation.
So, any awards, recognitions, achievements you've had till now, especially for this body whispering, your energy?
So, body whispering, etc., is fairly new. However, I have received an award in 2019 for being a Rex Karamveer Chakra by an organization called Rex, which offers these awards to people who they have seen working for social change or working for social initiatives. Thanks to the healing work that I do, I don't know what got it for me, but I got a Rex Karamveer Chakra and a Global Fellow. And the Rex team has joined hands with the United Nations to be able to offer these awards. So we have it's a UNIGC. I may have the letters a little wrong, but it has a United Nations approval to it. So that's one of the awards that I have. And I have definitely won a lot more awards for my corporate work. within the organizations that I used to work with before I became an entrepreneur.
The most important thing is to accept oneself, understand your body vibe and what it does and can do. How can it whisper? What Shalu can help you with. Her details are available in the feed on the video. Get in touch with her in case you want to take any kind of coaching or learn body whispering, or even if you just want some healing. She's there to